Damn. I sleep like a baby. I never show up late to work.
I do.
I don't drink whiskey. This song is so not about us.
It's the opposite of our laughs.
I don't know how it feels to hurt. Damn. Okay, let's just go through this. We literally, everything.
Yeah.
Wrong. Wrong.
X.
I don't sleep like a baby.
Mm-mm.
Show up late to work.
Mm-hmm.
I drink whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how it feels to hurt.
Same.
Damn. Well, I still love the song, though. It's a great song.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Get your tissue box ready.
Not just for your runny noses, because it's the season.
It's the season.
Why do they need tissues today, though?
Because it's called Call Me Crying.
Oh. I was like, are we talking about something sad?
Oh, bitch.
I mean, we might be hurting some feelings this episode, but it's nothing personal.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite thing.
Yeah, we just do it for a living. So
good old weddings.
Weddings.
It's a wedding episode.
Here comes the bride.
It's just going to be our opinions. Yeah. Trends, styles, elements, details.
Things we like.
Yep.
But also
things
we don't like.
Yeah.
And so we're going to just give a quick disclaimer.
Please.
That these are our personal opinions. They in no way mean that if you do them, that they're bad, anything like that. We also work with a lot of couples. We do you're a wedding planner. I work with venues. So these are not like critiquing anyone's styles or visions or anything like that. These are just like our opinions and
just based on experience, seeing so many, I mean, between the both of us, hundreds of weddings. Hundreds.
Yeah.
So it's really just based on our experience being in the industry, things that we've seen that we're excited to not see again, and things that we've seen that we look forward to seeing. So
yeah, the list is mighty long.
It's long.
And we got opinions. So yeah, buckle up.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Get that seatbelt on.
Get that seatbelt on.
All right, gentlemen first.
What?
I know.
Ooh, okay. All right. So I'm going to start with something that I like deathly hate.
Ooh.
And I think it's like at first I was into it, but now I'm just like, this is dumb.
I think that's going to be a common theme in our list. Some, like a lot of the things on my list too, that I'm excited not to see again are things that I used to like. And a lot of it is just like overexposure and overuse.
Yeah. And so mine isn't so much necessarily an aspect of your wedding, more like an aspect of your wedding weekend.
Okay.
But the one thing that I just hate, and I think is the biggest waste of money, are welcome bags. Like for lodging guests who are staying somewhere and you like make a welcome bag. The reason that I hate these is because they're pretty much all the same. And my thing with, I guess, a lot of these trends is like, trends or like things that people do is that they do them, but there's not like a personalization of it. Like there's not like a twist. And so in a welcome bag, I'll tell you right now what we're getting. We're getting 2 bottles of water.
Always.
We're getting an itinerary for the weekend. We're getting some like chips or something like
pretzels,
that.
Yeah.
We're getting a some like emergency medical items, like a ibuprofen or
a liquid IV.
Liquid IV.
Yep.
And that's
pretty much it. Yeah.
Like that's the welcome bag. And it's like, cool. I'll probably appreciate the water and the liquid IV.
Most hotels have water too.
Yeah. Most hotels have water or somewhere to access water. Like for me, I hate that I say for me so much. I'm going to try to stop that. I just don't for me, it's just, God damn it. I said for me again. I think it's a waste of time. It's
a waste of
so
time.
stressful too for a lot of people.
It is. And speaking firsthand, I did this and I 1,000,000% would go back and say, don't waste your fucking money on this because you don't think it's a lot of money, but if you have a 200-person wedding, it adds up.
Yeah.
And then the time to do it, the time to drop them off at the hotels. And I used to work at a wedding venue that had lodging as well. Sunday mornings, the housekeeping team is taking home those bags because people are not indulging in them. Like they are going, I would say up like 60 to 70% untouched. Untouched. And all of that time and money that you spent, don't worry about it. Unless, like, I have seen really cool welcome bags.
Same.
Where they're like monogram, they're personalized. You know, we live in upstate New York. I had one couple do like a really cool upstate New York fall bag where it was apple cider donuts, craft beer.
Yes, that's the stuff.
Local popcorn, maple syrup. Like if you have the budget and you can go balls to the wall, do it. But it's not something someone's going to take away from your wedding. Like, oh, wow, that welcome bag.
Yeah.
You know,
I had one time welcome bags that were like tote bags that were customized that I loved because it was like, oh, there's something that I can like
use after the fact.
And it's also like, I guess it could have also been favors.
Yeah.
But like that for me, love that. Don't like the whole, like your wedding welcome bags.
Are literally what we're defining.
But you did put a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah,
Smirnoff, however you say it.
Yeah.
In each of them.
To ice, yeah.
Which loved all the older people who were like, what was this about?
Yeah, I was like, you're supposed to get on your knee and chug it.
But remember your welcome bags? It was like, I don't know, the day before we had to drop them off or something.
It was 2 days before.
You were like going and I was like, okay, I'm going to write all the little notes. Like, it was a lot. It's a lot of work.
And then I got so stressed out. I smoked 3 cigarettes and then almost passed out.
Yeah. It's just I just don't think it's something you have to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I can get if you want to like pass along information, have a little card or something that they hand at checkout that says like, oh, the shuttle's leaving at this time.
But you can also do a frame sign on the front desk of the hotel as well. You know, there's ways to go about it that you're still getting the information across without spending all this money on minted or, you know.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see less welcome bags.
Yeah.
Because it's such a, I don't know. You know what I do like welcome bags though? Because we're pet friendly. I love when people have dog welcome bags. Like, here's some treats. That type of stuff I think is cute. But for me, welcome bags, happy to see you go. Yeah.
And you're not like super, from what you're explaining, you're not super anti them. It's just not a necessity.
It's not a necessity. I think it takes a lot more effort than
you would expect.
You would expect. And also that you really need to dedicate to such a small aspect of your wedding weekend.
Yeah.
For the value of it to the people who are receiving them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I did always love leftover welcome bags. Because I'll like stock the office with stuff. And like, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, there's like Tide to go sticks or things like that. You know what else I love when they're leftovers? Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Bathroom baskets.
Bathroom baskets.
I knew you were going to say that.
Bathroom baskets. I love them.
I know.
And I love when it's all over.
You just stole what I was going to say
really?
next.
I'm so sorry.
Damn it.
Damn. That you want to see them go or you like them?
No, I like them.
Just take it away.
So bathroom baskets, I think, take the money you're going to spend on welcome bags, put it on bathroom baskets.
Amen.
But you don't need as much as you think you need. People get like 2 full cans of hairspray, 2 full cans of dry shampoo, 1,000,000 placards. Like, condense it. You don't need that much because not everyone is going to use everything. But even when I've been a guest at a wedding, when I walk in the bathroom and I see a bathroom basket, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm fucking this shit up. I'm fixing my hair. I'm getting the shit out of my teeth. I'm taking a couple extra mints. I'm taking a hair tie. Like, I fuck up a bathroom basket.
I'm the person who will go and like grab it and then take it back to the gym. Like, guys, sit in one.
Totally. 1000%.
Yeah. I fucks with a bathroom basket. Yeah.
Welcome bags out. Bring those bathroom baskets in.
And sometimes like the what are they? Bathroom baskets?
Yeah.
They're so good. They have like things that I wouldn't expect.
Did you just have did you hit your head?
No, why?
What are they called? Bathroom baskets?
Girl. Coming from the girl who cannot even remember words. You gonna come for me for stumbling on a word in my head?
Because you come for me all the time.
Girl, all right. Mm-hmm. Where are we gonna go from here, Kayleigh? Just made it awkward.
No, we didn't.
Nice.
Martha.
Okay, so my next thing that I like that is changing, that I want to see more of, so it's kind of dissing on something else, but I love when like there's a wedding party, specifically like bridesmaids that don't have matching dresses. I hate matching dresses. And I love the idea of having like some type of color scheme, or I love when I see wedding parties and the bridesmaids are all in like different florals.
I love that. I was going to say that too.
love a floral. Now that might not work with all venues, like, you know, depending on the type of venue you're getting married at, but like in the venues I work at, I think they work really, really well. And I love
I love that too. I saw a wedding where all the bridesmaids wore black because it was like a more formal wedding. It was later in the season, the venue, it just made sense. But they were all so different, black dresses, that it didn't feel like it didn't feel like a bridal party. I don't know.
No, and I love that because I'm not very much into like the traditional sense of things. Like I don't like most traditional aspects of a wedding. Like I don't want you to toss the bouquet.
No.
What's that thing?
The garter.
That like, nah.
No.
So I don't know it, especially like just thinking about a big thing on my end is always like, okay, how does that impact a guest experience? Like your bridal party, most of the time, if you're putting them in a dress that they have to wear, like they're not comfortable.
I agree.
It just seems like stuffy, and like everyone's body sizes are different. Everyone has their own like, I don't like my arms or my legs, or like I don't like to show too much cleavage. It's like I love just here's a thing. Go find what you want.
And they look just like themselves too, because they're feeling more comfortable in a dress that they had a say to pick out.
Yeah.
Where going off like florals, like they could choose a tone depending on the bride and like what their restrictions are, or the groom. But they can choose like whether it's the type of floral or the fit of the dress, if there's like pleating to it. It just makes it so then that bridal party member looks more like themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're picking out a dress they would possibly wear not at that wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think also the thing, and this probably leads to what's your next thing?
My next one?
Yeah.
So on the topic of bridal parties.
Okay, good. Thank God I didn't say it, because I'll save it for you going.
Okay. So a trend that I love seeing is actually the like dissolving of wedding parties in general, where it goes back to like there's no party that is wearing the same tux or suit. There's no bridal party that's wearing the same dress or similar dress. There's no party in general. So they're not part of the processional. They're not walking down the aisle. But that doesn't mean that the bride and groom don't have friends, or that they're not like getting ready or have close people that they want to be around. It's just removing that formality out of the wedding. So again, going back to the processional, which is when, you know, everyone walks down the aisle. So it's not this long, drawn out, walking down the aisle, coupling up, you know, why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm thinking about things in my head.
Okay.
Finish your thing and I'll say all my things. They're all like wedding aspect things. It's not like I'm judging anything.
So it's just removing the stress from having other people so involved in your wedding. You can still have them involved and still have them have a special moment if they want. There's speeches for that. There's dances for that, etc. But I feel like the dissolving of the wedding party is putting the focus back on the couple, which I really love. It's making the ceremony more about the couple, some of their close family members. It's taking the pressure off the friends and family for being like so, I don't want to use the word stuffy, but I can't think of another word for it. I had a bridal party at my wedding. So this is not shitting on anyone who has a bridal party. Like, I get it. I get why some people want to do it. But seeing weddings now not have these formal bridal parties, it just feels a lot more light and airy and calm energy.
Yeah. For me, going back to my thing with the matching, if it's like you have a bridal party or a wedding party, a big wedding party, they all match. To me, that's just cheesy.
Yeah.
It's too like, oh, I feel like I'm in church and I'm like sweating to death. You know, I love the idea of minimal or no wedding party at all. Because honestly, if I was getting married, I know we talk about this all the time and you hate me. I probably wouldn't have maybe like one or two people because it's like, you know, I don't.
And the standing. If you have a bridal, I don't like the standing for the wedding too. The bridal party, again, I did this at my wedding. I look back and I'm like, I should have just had them sit their asses down because even just from a photo standpoint, it looks nicer. It looks cleaner to just have the couple and whoever's marrying you stand up there and then have everyone else sit down. It looks so much cleaner. I understand if you're doing like a religious wedding and people have to stand for like certain reasons, like totally get that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just ready for these big wedding parties to go away.
Yeah.
You know?
Thinking back to your wedding, actually, I did really love the standing portion of it. And maybe it's because like where I was standing, like I was relatively close. And with your wedding also, like nobody had to wear the same dress.
No.
It was like different colors, different pattern or different fabrics,
textures,
things like that. But I could see your points on like photos with wedding parties in them for like a ceremony. They never look good. There's too many people to try to get their face.
Because they're paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're not posing.
Yeah.
You know? So it just is like everyone's a little clunky, not to their fault, but they're trying to listen and pay attention to the actual ceremony.
Yeah.
So it just looks off, in my opinion.
Yeah. This wasn't my next thing that I was going to talk about, but for some reason it just triggered in my head on the basis of wedding parties.
Yeah.
Then we also don't have to deal with your stupid introductions of the entire wedding
I can't
party.
believe I didn't have this on my list.
I can't believe I didn't have it on my list either.
Yeah.
I hate introductions.
Yeah.
Hate.
Just you two.
Yeah.
Just keep it to you two.
Yeah.
Have it go. If you're doing your first dance right away, which like timeline's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But just have you both, introduced.
Yeah.
Have a fun song. Go into your dance.
Yeah.
Call it a day. It is your wedding. I don't give a shit if your mom paid for your wedding.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be fucking introduced. I mean, if you want her to, okay, but like don't feel pressure. Same with your bridal party. Like the amount of songs you're playing, 10 songs in a matter of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're getting like clips.
And they're always the same songs.
I know. And they're always the silly, let me drink a beer out of my shoe. Let's shotgun.
Let's throw my bouquet as a football.
Yeah. Okay, enough is enough.
Yeah. I think what we're getting to is like, the day's about you.
The day's
Let
about you.
Let it just be about you.
Yes.
You can have people involved in getting ready and like being part of your photos and things like that, but like make them bitches sit down. Have them sit down. They don't need to be.
The day is about you, and things add up. So introductions, bridal party and the processional, that adds time.
Yeah.
That is time you could be getting it down and dirty on the dance floor.
We timeline bitches over here.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I love when people ask questions like, well, how long does dinner normally take? Like an hour and a half? And I'm like, if your dinner is taking an hour and a half,
we got an issue.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I can get your dinner done in 45 minutes, including speeches, all that. Mm-hmm. Do not waste. I'll do it in 25 minutes. Like, do not waste a second on all of this other, like, I'm going to say boring stuff. It's not boring, but
formalities.
The formalities, and just get your ass on the dance floor. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah.
You brought up speeches.
Speeches.
Yeah. So I love a speech. I love a speech.
If it's going to make me cry, I'm there for it.
If it's going to make me cry or laugh, mm-hmm. you got to either pull on the heartstrings or you got to, use the humor. But if you are writing a speech for a wedding, keep it under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Time yourself. Don't be one of those people that are like, oh, don't worry, sweetie. Like, it's short and sweet. And then 15 minutes. Yeah. Like, people, after 5 minutes, they're like, I'm over this. They don't pay attention anymore.
Yeah.
They just read it to them privately. If you have like another portion that you want to talk to them about, I get that words are special. But you're speaking in front of, however many people are there, but 150 people.
Yeah.
After 3 to 5 minutes, their attention span is gone. They're ready for the next one. They're thinking, when can I go to the bar? When can we get up and dance? Like, it's when I've had so many weddings, and I think of one in particular in the past where it was 3 speeches. Mm-hmm. There was 15 minutes allocated for the 3 speeches. The first person was 17 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then the next person was like 8 to 10. The person after that was close to 15. Mm-hmm. That's 45 fucking minutes of hearing people talk. We're not going to school. This isn't a lecture.
Also, I don't like, it's not a eulogy.
Yeah, and it's not like, about you.
It's not about you.
You
and it's
take it over.
It's always dumb stories that like make sense between the two people.
Totally.
So that, like, I don't know, write them a letter.
Yeah, that's
Give
what I'm saying.
Give them a card on the day of. Mm-hmm. Like, also just the people with speeches when it's like, oh, I'm going to have my childhood's best friend's mom's cousin say a speech. What?
I know.
Or, this one really irks me. I'm sorry. When parents give speeches, but they have to give separate speeches.
You're doing it together.
Do it together, or one of you take one for the team and sit down. Mm-hmm. Like,
I have another one.
So annoying.
When people roast the bride or groom in a speech. That's like, don't fuck around because you're going to find out. Like, that is so classless. It's one thing to have like a small little, like, your sister is making a small little dig about you being late all the time, whatever. But I've heard speeches before where the best man just shits on the bride. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck off. It's so gross.
That's the other thing is like, even if you're say you're getting married and like this is your best man, he's your best friend. If it like in your gut is like, he probably shouldn't be given a speech at the wedding.
Don't have to
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Like, think about the people who are going to give speeches and like what it is. I'm sorry. If I was getting married, I'd be like, you're going to give a speech. Mm-hmm. You have 3 minutes.
Totally.
These are the things that are appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, that's, it's, I don't know, speeches. I remember I wasn't there, but it was right before I started. There was a dad at a wedding at one of the venues, and he gave a 45-minute speech. It was right after COVID. And he brought out a puppet of like a known figure during the COVID times and just turned it into this big, like, political based speech on his thoughts on COVID. And it was like, I just feel if I was the person getting married, and I've thought about this often, I don't know why, because I'm not getting married, but I've thought like if someone at my wedding is giving a speech and it's getting out of hand, I'm getting up, taking
1000%.
the mic, and you are now leaving.
Yeah,
like
1000%.
If you're gonna make it something else, nah, you're done. You're done. Crazy.
People are crazy.
You know how we get rid of this? Get rid of speeches.
Minimize.
You know what? Get married, have your ceremony, go straight into cocktail hour, go straight into dinner, and then dance.
Yeah.
Just dance.
Yep.
No more formalities.
Dream timeline.
Throw them away.
Dream
Just throw them
timeline.
away. Yeah.
Okay, let's put a positive twist back on this because we just shit on a couple things.
Lo siento.
But as you know, I love me some flowers.
Oh,
I'm a flower girl.
Yeah.
And flowers have always been part of weddings, but the trend that I love to see continue to grow year after year is colorful flowers. It's just color in weddings. You know, white and green have its place, have its time. I've seen that done beautifully, but I love to see these bold, colorful weddings, like the flowers, the vessels they're in, colorful candles and tapers. Love candles. I can go off about candles, but I love this movement of a lot of color.
Yeah.
And on that, another thing with florals that I love, because I know you want to add, but I'm not going to let you add until I say this, is if you are doing a bridal party, I love this new trend I've been seeing is the bridal party members, instead of having mini versions of the bride's bouquet, they have bouquets made up of all one flower, but each bridal party has a different flower.
Each bridesmaid,
yeah, sorry. So let's say the bride's bouquet has roses. I'm so bad at flower names. Cosmos, baby's breath.
That's good, right?
You know, those three. So then one bridesmaid has a bouquet of just all baby's breath. The other has one of all cosmos. The other one has one of all roses.
Yeah.
I love that trend.
Yeah. I do love seeing like the color and the pop, but also sort of related to yours, I think. I just also really love a good tablescape.
Oh, of course.
Like when you're talking about like the different colored taper candles, the different like bud vases. I love the different, like I at first wasn't into those like dishes with the
frogs.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I wasn't into those. And now like seeing them, those. I just love the way that people are taking that part. Because like that's a big part. That's a part that's like, you know, I love when it's like colorful and like, I don't know, has like the texture and all that stuff.
The height too, like the dimension of a table too, versus, you know, just having these centerpieces and like and making it very linear.
Yeah.
I love the incorporation of bud vases, frogs, candles, maybe like a bigger compo, and just making it so it has these different dimensions and textures to it with the color. Because you can also save a lot of money by doing it like that versus doing a ton of massive florals, centerpieces, you know?
I think it goes back to like, what is the vibe of the venue you're choosing?
1000%.
I'm not a big, like, I guess the way you would say it is like a ballroom type. I'm not the biggest fan of those types of places where it's like, you have these huge, tall, big, massive arrangements
that are like on these like pillars that are going on the table. Same.
Like I like them. I think they're gorgeous. I don't personally think I would take that route. I don't think that's my favorite. I love like the smaller arrangements, even just like the single bud vases, things like that. But yeah, the color on florals, I love, especially in like, because one of my venues is part of it is a greenhouse. So and so you have all the plants that are there and they're all green and things like that. And I love when I go into the space after it's set up and it's just like pop.
Yeah.
Like the color it's so vibrant and it's like, I love colored florals.
I know, me too.
I was not big into florals for a while. Now I think the direction that florals are going.
Yeah.
Love it.
I had a wedding on New Year's Eve, and it was New Year's Eve. It was an indoor venue, of course, because it was in upstate New York. And with it being winter and New Year's Eve, they didn't do colors, but they did really fun, organic, different types of like florals, plants, a lot of texture, a ton of texture. And it was stunning. It was a way that you can still do if you want like a more simple, clean color palette with florals, like a more white and green and earth tone, but still make it fun. Like it was so fun with the different types of just like textured florals. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't your traditional like just white roses and just baby's breath and just eucalyptus. It was like none of that. It was all really cool floral. So I respect color palettes and people having like their visions for it. But I love just being more playful then with it, you know?
Yeah. That is like the whole thing, I think, is like, if you gonna do it. You gotta do it. Like, yeah. You know, I'm in for that one. I have some florists that I do love when I see that they're coming. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be good. Because it's not, maybe it's just not traditional. It's just like this new wave of florals that I'm like, I love this because it's not that like just big arrangement in the middle of the table. It's something that feels more individual to the couple
too. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it was a copy and paste from another wedding.
Yeah. It also like, I just feel like it has a certain wow factor that like a basic regular big arrangement on a table. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not for me. Yeah.
On the topic of florals, I do have another thing that I personally don't like.
Okay.
Which could be controversial. Again, this is purely just based on me not loving them anymore. Something I did like that I don't like anymore. Arches. I don't like ceremony arches. I like more, like I could do a broken arch. Broken arch I like. I prefer more like growing floor arrangements or like meadow type arrangements. I like the more organic, natural feel to florals with the ceremony.
Okay.
Versus it being super framed.
Oh, I hate a frame arch.
That's
Absolutely.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Like something that's super, I've seen beautiful arches, like you can pull off an arch, but I don't know, like a wooden framed arch with florals on it, it just feels out of place, especially with outdoor venues. There's something about like you have this beautiful like tree background, let's say, and then you're taking your eye away from the tree background and putting it onto this arch, where having something more like organic from the floor up just suits my eye better.
Yeah. I do love, if I had to pick something, I also like pillars.
I love
that
pillars.
have like an arrangement on there.
I love that.
Then also on the floor next to it. But I do love that idea of like a meadow organic thing. That, yes,
baskets
absolutely.
too with florals in it. Love that for a ceremony. Like different heights and sizes, like filled with florals. Yeah, it's more of like the connection of having like that structure. Yeah. That's not my favorite.
So my final thing that I'm like absolutely love, I'm so hyped for, is the change in photography style that I'm seeing. I love like film photography. I love like action, candid photography. There is nothing more boring to me than getting a wedding album, like getting the photos and looking through them, and it's all just like stuffy posed pictures.
1000%.
I don't know. I think especially as like a person who's paying for the photography, if I was, I would want I would want candid photos. Yeah. I'd want to like, I feel like if you're getting a traditional sense of photography, the photos that you're most enjoying looking at are like the dance floor photos.
Oh yeah.
Those are the ones. Yep. So why not just do that the whole day? Not saying like, oh, don't get ceremony photos, don't get photos of you as the couple. But like, there's a certain style to...
It's more about the style. It's like still getting the combination photos of... Because you're going to want photos with your parents or siblings or loved ones. Like, I get that. But one thing that my bride said on New Year's Eve that I loved was she wants photos with her like bridal party and her friends, but she doesn't want to stand in one spot and just have them rotate in and have the same style photo and background with everyone. She's like, I want to feel our personality in the picture. So I want them to be a mix of candid, a mix of like different areas of the property. And I was like, I love that. That's such a good way to explain it. So it's not just all the same photo, just changing the one face in.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it, love it, love it so much. And when we get those photos back, those are the ones where I'm like, these are great photos. In terms of like using photos for like a business perspective and like brochures and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably not so much. But I don't know. I love seeing just different, because it's also like, if your photographer does it right, it's like seeing you interact with all of the people
and
at your
seeing
wedding.
What you normally look like.
Yes.
Like, there are some photos from my wedding. I loved my photographer. She did a phenomenal job. Wouldn't change anything. But there are some photos that I see of myself posing where I'm like, do I really look like that?
Yeah.
But then there are candid photos that she got of me that I'm like, oh, I love this photo.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm looking like myself and not just posing with my hand on my hip.
Yeah.
You know, like there were really great combination photos she got of me and my husband that just look more like us because we're not just superposed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I also love, this kind of goes with like I'm okay seeing these go. I love that idea of photography in place of a photo booth.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know, photo booths, they're fun.
Yeah.
But like, you're going to go up once
booth.
and do it. And
it's a lot of money too. Like, it is, depending on what style that you do. But like, it could be a lot of money. And is it really something that is going to impact your guest experience that much? You know, there are certain photo booths. Like, I worked with a photo booth this fall that was this like high end, kind of like, you know, the Kardashians have like that signature photo booth at all of their events. It's like the celebrity photo booth.
I don't like the Kardashians.
I know. It's not just them. It's some of you may know what I'm talking about. But this photo booth that I had at one of my fall weddings, it was that type of photo booth. So everyone looked really fucking good in it. And it was photos that now the couple wants to use like part of their album.
Okay.
So it's not just the like 3 square, you have props type photo booth. It was more of like aesthetically, it's photos that you would then want to keep in frame and stuff like that.
Okay, that I can get that I can get with. But the posed backdrop, props,
big glasses,
that I'm
sign
like,
in the hand. Yeah, I get that.
Like, it's fun. You could take them home. I have tons.
Yeah.
From weddings, but yeah, I think
it takes people away from the dance floor too.
It does take people away from the dance floor, and I feel like I would get the same like enjoyment looking at photos that were just candidly taken by my photographer.
Right. It's like, instead of having your photographer leave after the formalities and have a photo booth, remove the photo booth, extend your shooter's time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we have a fun thing we're about to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a little speed round. We're going to really see what we don't like at weddings.
Yeah.
So we're going to
based on our
professions.
Based on what we do at weddings.
Like our titles.
So, Kayleigh, what do you do for a living?
So I'm a wedding planner.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
I am an events director. So,
director.
I am like catering venue side, logistics,
venue catering.
Yeah. So like venue managing type thing. So
what I used to do.
What Kayleigh used to do. So yeah, our things may be similar because in terms of on a wedding day, like if Kayleigh and I were working together, we'd be working very closely together. Like on my end, I'm always working with a planner, super close. you're probably working with a venue person
1000%.
super close. Because like you're doing the same stuff to make the day happen. So yeah. Do you want to go first?
No, that's you.
So, okay.
So what are, give me a few things you hate on the wedding day itself doing. Okay. That's part of your role.
On wedding day, these are the things where I'm like, ugh. Okay. A lot of them are catering. They're all catering, actually. First one, having to carry big ass wedding cakes.
Traumatizing.
First off, cake in general, I hate cake on a personal level, like not even outside of a wedding.
I
think cake is such a dumb thing. There's a ton of different desserts that you could do to make it like cool. I love a dessert station. I love like cupcakes or like all these different types of like baked goods, pastries, things like that. Cake, it's like you're trying to accommodate so many people.
No one eats the cake.
Most of the time, it's like no one's going to eat it. We end up throwing it away.
So much cake away.
So much cake goes to waste. I think cake is just like
and the fear of carrying the cake is like, I feel that.
Yeah, no, it's
in my bones.
It's some. I mean, my old job, they used to be like 6-tier cakes that we'd have to carry. We'd have to like sometimes put them on a cart
and then wheel them over
because they were so heavy. I am all for like a cake cutting type thing. Get a small cake.
Yeah.
If you want a big cake, make part of it real. Make the rest of that shit styrofoam. You know.
I agree.
So that's my number one.
Okay.
My number two, plated dinners. Plated dinners.
Get them out of here.
They're so old school. It's so
you don't get as much food.
You don't get as much food. It's just like it takes longer, honestly, to get those plated and out. It's just, I don't know. I'm not my favorite is family style.
1000%.
It forces everyone to be like intimate and talk, and you get way more food. Plated meals, it's just nah. I would be happy if I never had to do a plated meal again. Also, the back and forth science behind it all, the planning that it goes in, like
I know
there's just so much. And also on that note, if you're gonna do a plated style dinner, have assigned seating. Don't try to do like. Do you know people try this sometimes? No. Assigned seating in general, you should just always have assigned seating. But if you're gonna do plated,
I'm team assigned seating.
Seating. My last thing also sort of has to go with this is trying to accommodate dietary restrictions on the fly.
I was going to put that on mine.
If you know that you are allergic to gluten or dairy or you're a vegetarian and you're going to a wedding, let them know.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And withhold that information and assume that they should remember your allergy.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility to tell the couple so then they can tell their caterer or venue, etc.
It's not a restaurant.
It's not a restaurant, and it is not the couple's responsibility to chase your lazy ass.
Yeah. Yep. Indicate it. Because I'm sorry, there have been times where you have all of these different dietary restrictions, and what ends up happening is you can eat the salad.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
Unless I somehow manage or like work very closely with the kitchen to like get you all these different pieces that are just around and hope that like my chef is like, oh, I can whip this up.
Yeah, even
but
just cross-contamination too. Well, like if you have celiac, that's a whole different ball game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So those are my three.
Okay.
I could have a ton more, but those are
good three. Good three.
You have three?
I have three.
Go for it.
Okay. First one would be keeping the bridal party quiet during the processional. The amount of times that I have to gently tell everyone while I'm lining them up to be quiet so they can listen to me for instruction and to cue them. Every wedding. I gotta tell them to be quiet.
You gotta get a serious face going.
Oh, I do.
Because I shoot a look and people...
and it's like you tell them to be quiet and then they keep going.
Yeah. It's always the men.
It is.
Always the men.
Okay. Dealing with a mean mom who's like making the day about herself. That is stressing the bride out. That happens a lot more than you would expect. It doesn't happen all the time because, not all moms are like that. But it does happen where there are just moms that really think that the day is about them and that my attention should be fully theirs, where it's, no, I'm there for the couple too, you know, and I need to check in with the couple and make sure that we're doing what they want.
Yeah.
You know, I had a wedding recently where they wanted to change the assigned seating in the first row of the ceremony. And I already had told the mom and the dad that, no, I spoke with the couple already. This is what they want. This is how they want it. It's going to work great. And then they came to me the day of the wedding and asked me to change it. And then I explained to them, no, this is why, you know, their name is not Sarah and John, but I'll just say Sarah and John signed off on this. This is how they want it. And then I heard the dad go to the groom later on before the ceremony, asked him, and the groom ended up being like, Dad, we talked about this. This is the plan. We are not changing it. And it was something so silly. They wanted it changed for like no real reason. It was just the mom had an idea, got the dad involved on it, and it created extra stress for no reason.
Get your parents in line at a wedding. Like, parents, don't even get me started on parents because you know all the stories.
I know.
Parents at weddings, I get it. It's like your kids. You want the best for it. But sometimes you're wrong. You're wrong.
Their fucking wedding.
Let them do what they want.
Last but certainly not least is working with a not team-oriented vendor.
Ugh.
It doesn't happen that often, thankfully. It really doesn't. But there are times where I'll be working with a vendor that just, you could tell doesn't really care, is going at the beat of their own drum, which we all go at the beat of our own drum, but in a way that they just don't want to work together. And on wedding days, you have to work together. Like the vendor team, we're working together to pull this event off. We're not just, I don't know.
It makes it really hard to do your job when somebody on the team of vendors is not pulling their weight. They're just like, I have strong feelings about this.
Like, I've worked with a vendor before. This was before my planning days. This is when I ran the venue. But I worked with a vendor who was just really, we talked about the rain contingent plan like a ton of times. We had a solid plan in place. And then come the day of the wedding, they just wanted to change it purely for their benefit, not considering the couple, the other vendors involved. Like, they were just stirring the pot and causing the couple a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress when something was already figured out.
Yeah.
And it was also really dismissive to the planner I was working with at the time and myself, because we both worked hand in hand to come up with a really good plan for the couple. And then this other vendor is just coming in, stirring the pot.
Yeah.
And it was for their own benefit, but at the same time for no reason at all. And I can't deal with that. We work in hospitality and we are there to pull off an amazing wedding and to do whatever's possible to do that within, good reason. But we work in hospitality, and the reason I'm stressing that is because one thing I can't stand that stems from this is vendors that are just like in bad fucking moods on the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
I get it. We all have personal lives. We all have shit going on, but don't give my couple a fucking attitude.
Yeah.
Just because you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, don't piss me off.
I don't know. I think it's like, just, you are getting paid to do this. Come on. Because ultimately, like, the way that you're being, or the lack of you're doing things, like, you're with a team of vendors who, I'm sorry, their word of mouth is you're gonna suffer from this. Like, there's so many times where it's like, especially when every other vendor knows there's one specific vendor who's fucking the day up.
Yep.
They're all talking.
Oh, 1,000%.
They're all talking.
Yeah.
And you will never be recommended by those people.
Nope.
Ever, ever, ever. Yeah. Oh, vendors.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oy vey. What is, not oy vey. Lauren.
Lauren.
All right. So what's our takeaways from today?
What is our takeaways? That just because we have an opinion does not mean
it's wrong.
It doesn't mean our opinion's just right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's just wrong. You can differ in opinions. This is just from our experience working at weddings, and we all like different things, and that's okay.
This is what I'm going to say is the takeaway for anyone who's getting married. Think about everything you're doing. Don't feel pressured to do things. Mm-hmm. Think like you make a mood board.
Yeah.
Do all that. Think about the aesthetic. You know what the big thing I always have to tell people is, stop worrying about what everybody else wants.
I was just about to say, remember this.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's your wedding.
Yeah.
And I always say, it's your wedding. You could do whatever the hell you want. If you want to like come in on a hot air balloon, come in on a hot air balloon. Right. Let's do it. Like,
and stop worrying about. I tell this to couples all the time too. Stop worrying about, well, what are my photos going to look like in 40 years? And that comes to I hear that a lot with couples who are nervous to lean into like the color, the pattern, the texture. They're like, well, maybe I should stay more classic and timeless so my photos look current or present in 40 years. Don't fucking worry about that.
Yeah. Are we really? Don't worry about one photo that's going to be on your wall for the next 40 years.
Exactly. Lean into what you want and remember this is your wedding day. This is no one else's wedding day.
Yeah. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You're going to do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but you're probably going to think you're going to do it one time. Yeah. Just do it.
And don't let your parents get involved.
Don't let your parents get involved.
Please. I'm begging you.
Yeah. But that's what we got for you.
That's what we got.
So ready to ring in this new year of chaos with 2025 for
I'm
our
excited.
Work. But it looks really good. It looks really busy, which, good Lord. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all.
Well, if you want to hear any more input from Dumb and Dumber about weddings, write us.
You could totally write us if you want to be like, what do you think about this? I'd love an opinion.
Or if you have a wedding crazy story, let us know.
Yeah. Or if you're looking to get married,
let us know.
I have places. So yeah, you need a planner. Although, okay, this is my one piece of advice, and this is the last thing I'm going to do, and not to like fill your head, but if you're getting married, my recommendation always is to get a planner or coordinator.
You have to.
They are, I'll use what I say during tours, they are worth their weight in gold. Mm-hmm. Get a planner coordinator. It doesn't have to be her, but there's a ton. But yeah, shout out to all our planners and coordinators and vendors that we work with. We know y'all.
Wedding vendors. We love you.
We love you. Even though sometimes it might, my face might say otherwise. It's just my face.
It's just his face.
I promise. The amount of people you've told me, they like think you, and I'm like, it's just my face.
He does have resting bitch face. He really does.
Working on it, y'all. Working on it. All right, well, go get a drink, y'all. Yeah. Thirsty Thursdays. I'm going to get a drink if I can figure out how to fix my mic over here. But we'll call you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.